Welcome back guys to my channel, and today we will be talking about has Boeing stopped the production of its iconic 747 and why many airlines are retiring it. Before we get started, I would like to share a sad event which recently happened. An Ethiopian Airlines Boeing 777 cargo plane scheduled for South America caught fire while loading cargo at Shanghai Pudong International Airport on Wednesday 22nd July 2020. Luckily, the fire had been contained and none of the crew or ground staff were harmed. The cause of this incident is under investigation. The flight arrived in Shanghai from Brussels about 11:50 am on Wednesday, according to the online air traffic tracking service Flight Radar 24. Now let's come back to the main point. Is the production of Boeing 747 discontinued? And why many airlines are retiring it so soon? Let's get started, guys. The Boeing 747 is a large, long range, wide body airliner and cargo aircraft. It typically accommodates 366 passengers. It started its production in 1968 and its maiden flight was on 9th February 1969. Now comes the main question. Is Boeing really ending the production of 747s? Boeing has not told its employees, but it is ending the production of the 747 jumbo jet, as reported by Bloomberg on 2nd July. At a build rate of half airplane per month, the Boeing 747-8 program has more than 2 years of production ahead of it in order to fulfill our current customer commitment, a Boeing spokesman told. The last 747-8 will roll out of a Seattle area factory in about 2 years, according to the reports. This will mark a milestone for commercial aviation as the era of jumbo jet production will end when the Queen of the Skies will no longer be produced after a 50-year-long operational period. One of the spokesmen said, "We will continue to make the right decisions to keep the production line healthy and meet customer needs." The Boeing 747 first entered into the service with former airline Pan Am, but after more than 50 years in disguise, it has fallen from favor as airlines started to opt for smaller and more cost-effective aircrafts like the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, Boeing 777X, and the Airbus A350. Even before the pandemic, the air travel industry had shifted towards smaller, more fuel-efficient twin-engine jets like 787 Dreamliner. The 747 is still being built, but it is mostly built for cargo usage. The last order for a passenger version of the 747 came from the US government, which in 2017 commissioned two of the jets from Boeing for use by the president as Air Force One aircraft. All this would explain why Boeing is discontinuing the production of 747. The end of the production was nearly seen in 2019 when the Triumph Group started to dismantle its plant in Hawthorne, California, where the 747 fuselages were manufactured. There are 16 unfilled orders for the 747-8 in the backlog, all of which are freighters. 3 will head to Volga Dienper, UK, and 13 for UPS. For all unfilled 747-8 orders, the Triumph Group pre-produced fuselages before it completely shut down. In order to keep the production line running for the next 3 years, Boeing has reduced the production rate to half jumbo jets per month and also to create a time window for possible further orders. However, the aerospace giant failed to log new orders for the aircraft except for UPS that placed an order for another 747-8 in May this year. However, UPS simply took over an order which was actually made by another customer, the Volga Dnipro Group. The COVID-19 pandemic has also affected the aviation industry. As a result of the crisis, more and more aircrafts are being sent into the early retirement and mostly scrapped. Now comes another question. Why many airlines are retiring their larger aircrafts such as the Boeing 747s? On Friday, 17 July 2020, British Airways announced that it would be retiring its iconic fleet of Boeing 747s with immediate effect. They were originally set to be retired in 2024, but the date was changed due to the unprecedented travel slump caused by the coronavirus pandemic. This decision is not surprising, I guess, after considering the fact that several airlines such as Delta and Air France had already retired their 747s ahead of the downturn. Excluding cargo airlines, British Airways operated the most 747s with 31 of the jumbo jets in service. Over 400 747s were in service last year, and after British Airways retired its aircrafts, it leaves Lufthansa as the passenger carrier with the most 747s in its service, that is 28 aircrafts. Recently, on 22nd July 2020, Qantas has also retired its last Boeing 747. Flight Quebec Foxtrot 7474 from Sydney departed from Australia for the final time, bound for Los Angeles as it heads to retirement. According to the airline, the 747 taxied and received a water cannon salute before taking a lap over Sydney. The 747, with the tail number Victor Hotel Oscar Echo Juliet, took off at 12:01 am UTC and drew a kangaroo over the Australian coast, according to Flight Radar 24. Qantas isn't the only carrier retiring its 747. Airlines including KLM, Virgin Atlantic, and British Airways are retiring their 747 fleets a few years early as passenger demand has dropped due to the pandemic and airlines attempt to cut costs. Some 747s are even being put to creative new uses as hotels and even scuba diving attractions. The Boeing 747 is often called the Queen of Skies as it transformed air travel in the jet age. As the original wide body jet, the 747 could fly farther and faster than any other commercial passenger aircraft. The most recent version, the 747-8, has a range of 9,300 miles and carries around 400 passengers in a typical 3-class configuration. The 4-engine 747s are outdated and simply too expensive to operate nowadays compared with the new generation twin-engine Airbus A350 and Boeing 787 Dreamliner. Therefore, more airlines are shifting towards fuel-efficient jets like Airbus A350 and Boeing 787 Dreamliner, which makes the 747 days limited. This has been accelerated as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. Boeing even announced it would shutter the 747 production line once the last plane on order rolls out of its Everett factory in 2022. Despite that, you can still find 747 operated flights on several major commercial airlines, but it won't be long until the last 747-400s are retired, leaving the next generation 747-8 India as the latest version of the Queen of the Skies still fly. Only 3 airlines, Lufthansa, Korean Air and Air China, have opted to purchase the 747-8 India. For some viewers who might be thinking what will happen to the retired aircrafts, the answer is that it will go to storage and will wait to be taken and repaired by another airline or dismantled and recycled. The decision to dismantle an aircraft most often depends on whether the value of its parts and components is higher than that of the aircraft as a flying machine. On a personal note, although I am an Airbus fan, but I am also feeling sad because the 747 era is ending soon. I would also like to share a fun fact. Davis Monthan Air Force Boneyard in Tucson, United States of America is the largest airplane graveyard in the world. That's all for now and I will keep you updated with more soon. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and also if you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. If you find the content to be good, please share it with your friends and other aviation enthusiasts. I would also like to hear your comments, so please comment below. Also, if you are interested in aviation memes, check out my Instagram page. The link is in the description box below. See you next week with my new video.